Good morning. Good morning, all y'all. How you doing? Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch. It's Friday, TGIF. And I'm watching Kiltsy. Wait for him to finish. They're waving. Bye. Perfect timing. Perfect timing and a segue. So, back to me. Little side view. As you can see, I've got Rant Man sitting over there on top of my printer. That's a good out-of-the-way place for him. Unless I have to copy something, then we move them. So, it is hot weather today. It's chilly. You just heard Nelson say that it was 42 degrees in Deltona. We're a little warmer here, about 50, 51, but tis the season. Going to go up to about 70 today. Ain't it great? Well, get down to business. And the first order of business is drink it if you got it. Wait for this. And here they come over from Kilts. Oh, that's good. Well, I still haven't had to turn the heat on yet, but I did turn the AC off. And it got down to about 70 in the house last night, which is great sleeping. Great sleeping. Okay, got that all set up. So let's see. 44 people. Good to see you all this morning. What's new? Friday morning, supposed to be sunny today. I had a good live stream last night with the members community. Gotta stop using that word private. I see a question, John Logan. I think you meant to say, is alpha gal not good for humans? Well, alpha gal is a form of sugar that you seem to get from a certain tick bite. And it kind of makes you react badly to ruminant meat. So no, I can't imagine it's good for humans. You don't want it. Lone Star tick, that's what it's called. The Lone Star tick. And people develop a aversion to meat. And from what I've heard, I'm not an expert on it, it seems it lasts 8-9 months and then goes away. But some people maybe have an aversion to it forever. I don't think you'd want to go out of your way. And I think alpha gal, I think the gal in that name means galactose, which is sugar. So interesting. I wonder what brought that up. I still have to get used to this 7 o'clock stuff again, but I do like it better. I watched pretty much the entirety of Kelsey, and sadly, they couldn't connect. DS111 says those glasses that you are wearing look better than the other ones you usually wear. Well, it look different because of the hat. They're the same glasses. They are the same glasses. They just look different because of the hat shading over them. But so what you're basically telling me is wear the hat, Mitch, you'll look better. We don't have to deal with the incredible glare off of your head. I used to wear this hat every day. In fact, in the picture on the thumbnail for the morning coffee live streams is me in the hat, and it's this hat. And it's not even a Carnivore hat. It's a model airplane hat. And if you look at it closely, it says Triple Tree Aerodrome, which is a privately owned, huge model airplane event facility up in Greenville, or south of Greenville, South Carolina, that they have an event every year called the Joe Knoll. It's the biggest RC event in the world, thousands of pilots. The place is huge. It's acres and acres and acres, and it's got big lakes and incredible gathering every year. I used to go every year with all my friends. For 10 years running, we went up there until my friend Stan died in 2013. And that was the end of us all going to Joe Knoll. And I've got some great videos from Joe Knoll, and I don't know if any of you'd be interested in them, but some morning, if I got nothing to do and you all beg me to show you some of these things, I'll be happy to. DS111 says, you look younger today. I always look younger wearing a hat. Everybody does, I think, especially bald guys. Because I probably look younger if I had a full head of hair, too. But, yeah, Mitch looks 77 years old, says Spanky. Spanky, good morning to you, man. Not used to seeing you here in the morning, but Spanky is one of the 10,000 unemployed comedians that we have right now. Between the U.S. and Canada, 10,000 unemployed comedians. Yeah, I consider myself one of those too. Holy cow, minus 27 degrees up there. Spanky, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. Spanky is in jail. There's two of my comedians right there. Spanky and DS111. You get those guys together, I just got to look out for the busting to occur. Anyway, first in, good morning, Mike Sealy. This morning, I think they did away with all of yesterday's entries, so we start at, what time was that? At 4:19 a.m. Mike Sealy from Tampa, how you doing? And Mary M., always one of the first ones in. Mike Sealy Sr., here in Melbourne, and yes, it definitely is a cool morning. And Rick, good morning from Rick and Mitch. Wow, thank you, Rick. And Humaira's here. How you doing? Good to see you. Good morning, Lucy. Work, all the usual suspects. Barry Simon, good morning, Barry. Barry was on our panel last night. It was always good to see you. How you doing? And we have Bride's Biscuit here this morning. John Logan, the Alpha Gal. Oh, I see it. I answered the question, but it was only the first part. If Alpha Gal is bad for humans, what about other mammals like mountain lions and bobcats? I have no idea. Never even heard that as a question anywhere. It's an interesting thought, though. What would happen if a lion got bit by a Lone Star tick and got allergic to meat? I don't know. I'm sure somebody has looked into that somewhere, and if you Google it or something, you may get an answer. That'd be a curiosity. Now I understand the context of the question. Coach Juliet Edens. Good morning, Juliet. Got up super early to start work, 4 a.m. Wow. Good for you. Good to see you here this morning. Good to see you here. And who is this? This is Loretta. Hi, Loretta. Good morning, everyone. And Lambs is here. And Lambs is our winner at 7 a.m. Congratulations. Congratulations. Followed immediately by Rick. Sandy Blythe. Good morning. Good morning. Larry Ryan. Good morning, Mitch. And all the Mitch fits, he says. Wayne Herman here from North Carolina. Hi, Wayne and Lori Whitesell up early this morning. Good morning, Lori. How are you? How are you? Carla Sampson, 4 a.m. here. Troopers. Wow. Good morning to you and John, together strong. I saw you over in Kelsey's chat, sharing experience, strength, and hope. One day at a time. That's about the best we can do. Amy's here. Good morning, Amy. Good morning to you. How you doing this morning? Good to see you and Gilream. Good morning as well. And let's see. Rick is in car engine work mode. We was talking about that last night. Mandy Beddoes. Hi, Mandy. How are you? And Spanky. I'm at the police station guarding a couple of offenders all night, often an hour. Wow. You're still working. I thought you were retired, Spanky. Evidently not. Listen, if you got any questions or anything you want to talk about, steer the conversation to, put QQQ in the chat, and I'll search them out. We're getting a good head start on everything today. I'm only 10 minutes behind at 12 minutes into the stream. Not bad. Richard Williams, Copperhill, good morning to you. Good morning to you, Sandy Blythe. Okay, and everybody else was saying to Spanky, I thought you were retired. Yeah, I did too. And Rick in Miami is making us all feel bad, telling us his air conditioner is still on. It's always warmer in Miami than it is here. I'm about a couple hundred miles north of Miami, and it's a couple hundred miles at this latitude can make 10 degrees, 15 degrees of difference. Even the distance between Deltona, which is still north of me but inland, Nelson's temperatures were 10 degrees colder than mine here, so it doesn't take very far. Marla Kelly's here. Loretta Nadow, good morning to you. And Super Tune is here. Good morning, Super Tune. From Clearwater. Oh, Chuck. Okay, Chuck. Super Tune's name is Chuck. Let's remember that. Let's let that sink in while I drink my coffee. Chuck in Clearwater, Florida. Headquarters to the Scientologists in Clearwater. And Chuck, when I first moved to Florida in 1971, I lived in St. Pete, which is just south of Clearwater. And then I built a house in Seminole, Florida, which is even closer to Clearwater. And I spent a lot of time in Clearwater. And I was in a swimming pool business. And our company's name was Capri Pools. And it was on US 19 on US 19, just south of Route 60. So I know Clearwater pretty well. And Clearwater was the headquarters for the Scientologists. And they had a building downtown. And they were something. They were a scary crew. I imagine they still are. Imagine they still are. Anthony, good morning to you. How you doing? Welcome. Welcome. Boston Danny's here. Hiya, Danny. Bet it's chilly up in Boston. How are you? How are you? Good to see you. And said he'd like to see my model airplane videos. Okay, I'll have to queue up a couple of little clips of something that's interesting and show them to you. Maybe a couple clips. I've already shown a few of these to people over the years on YouTube, but I used to fly these model jet airplanes, model jets, and compete with them. And they were amazing. They went 200, 250 miles an hour. They were fully scale. And I used to compete in international competitions with those things. And I have some videos of me flying them back in my younger days, maybe my 40s and 50s. But let's see. The year 2000, in the year 2000, that's 25 years ago. I don't know. God, wow. I took 5th place in, it's called Top Gun. And it was held in Lakeland, Florida, at the airport there, Lakeland Airport. I took 5th place in the world. In the world. I mean, we had competitors from Russia to Europe to South America, everybody. And I took 5th, which was quite an achievement for little old Mitch. I got a video of that. I'll have to show that one day. A lot of you probably don't care. Some of you might find it really amazing. DS111, yes. Yes, you guys make a great comedy team. DS and Spanky. So Spanky's in jail. Yeah. Well, we have CB Carmack, a regular on the channel, and CB is a sheriff in Alabama, and he transports prisoners. So he spends a good deal of time in or around the jails as well, I'm sure. Aaron is here. Hi, Aaron. How are you? And Rexford. I guess it's Rex Ford, not Rexford, but good morning to you. Good morning to you. We got to put, like John does down here, it would really help to put a dash. They won't let you put spaces in your YouTube channel, in your YouTube name, but you can put dashes in there or underscores. And that helps separate the first name from the last name, because I have botched many of those trying to figure out where to separate the two halves. Let me see who have it. Feral Grandma, good morning. Haven't seen you in a while. Good morning to you. Welcome. Thanks for getting up early for this. Peter's here. Peter, how are you, my friend? Good to see you this morning. Peter came into the panel last night, as well as did DC Raymaker down there in Australia, and Rick. We had a nice little, and Barry Simon. We had a nice little time last night in the members live stream, and we even talked about some carnivore. Imagine that. Imagine that. So it appears that Spanky's working part-time for the sheriff, picks up 3 to 4 shifts a month to pay for toys. Yeah, we'll work for toys. That's pretty much what I do, except the toys always tend to be things that support my YouTube efforts, like cameras and computers. Oh, latest update on DS's Fat Boss. Question, my fat boss is on a non-approved weight loss drug but seems preoccupied or slightly worried. What do you think can be the first adverse symptom? Fatigue, upset stomach? Well, I assume it's a GLP-1. A non-approved one. God, who knows what might be in that? Well, any symptom, I imagine, slightly worried. It's hard to say what could cause that. It may not even be the drug. It may be just taking a drug that he's not familiar with. Maybe he feels something strange. Maybe he's just getting a little nauseous, because that's a real symptom of the GLP-1 drugs, is nausea. He may be, if it's not approved, then it's probably not prescribed by a doctor. So how does he know that he's taking the appropriate dose? At any rate, tell your fat boss about Carnivore. I'm sure you have already, but it's amazing to me how brainwashed people are and what they won't do to avoid eating what solves the problems in order to continue to eat the addictive garbage that they eat. They'll risk their health and life taking a drug, all the while screaming about how dangerous Carnivore is and how you immediately going to get a heart attack and die. Chuck says, high rent district. I remember the name of your pool company. And you must be old like me, because that was back in the 70s, for God's sakes. That was back in the 1970s. That was one of my first business adventures. And I was a partner in it. I worked my way into the partnership. I didn't start it, but I became the sales end of it, and eventually got a little piece of it until it went broke. When Jimmy Carter became president and the interest rates went to 17 to 20% for a home improvement loan, and nobody could afford to put in a pool anymore. Thank you, Jimmy. You peanut fart. Never mind. But that was a great business. I really enjoyed it. But I got my experience in construction by being in the pool business. And when I moved to Orlando after I got divorced from my first wife and ended up in the computer business, in the home build, I wanted to be a home builder. I went and got my general contractor's license. And because I had experience in the construction industry, that was one of the qualifications. So that was just a stepping stone. But I loved the pool business. And wow. Has anybody priced a swimming pool today? $50,000, $70,000, $100,000 for the fancier pools with a spa in them. I couldn't believe it. Back when we were building pools, we had swimming pools, in-ground concrete swimming pools for $6,000, $7,000. You wanted a spa, you wanted fancy stone, you wanted elevated back, $10,000, $12,000. You very rarely got above $12,000, $13,000 in price. No matter how fancy. You got black marseille, you wanted a black pool. You don't realize inflation until you look back. And, back then a whole house, a nice house, equivalent of a $500,000+ house today was like $75,000. So of course the swimming pools were proportionally as cheap. But yeah, I remember Clearwater. My daughter Chuck lives up in Trinity, Florida, which is up in near Newport Richey, up in Pasco County, but still on the West Coast. And when I go over to see her sometimes we'll drive back to Clearwater to go to a restaurant or something. I cannot believe how that place has changed. I thought it was busy when I lived there and there was traffic. Holy cow. And if you live there, Chuck, if you've ever heard of the Boot Ranch, the Boot Ranch is north of Clearwater. That's where we who flew our model airplanes used to go because it was nothing but countryside and farmland. It was out in the middle of nowhere. And we had a big field out there that we flew off of for years and years. Now it's like downtown out there. It is so built up. It's crazy. And my daughter, occasionally I talk to her about moving to the West Coast up there in Pasco County. But I just can't bring myself to do it because when I go over there, the traffic and so many people, and it's crazy. It's just crazy. And unfortunately, Melbourne is starting to be built up like that too. So everybody wants to move to Florida. Stop already. Or we're going to end up in like downtown Manhattan here. Donna Ray is here. How you doing? Good to see you, Bacon Runner. Good. And Robin Downing, good morning from Gladstone, Missouri. Welcome. Here, John said, Chuck said, John says, wow, I lived at the marina at St. Pete, Clearwater, held a condo on St. Pete Beach. We probably crossed that. Yeah. Not likely, but maybe sometime on the road. That reminds me of a funny story. Of course, I was in the Army from 1966 to 1970. And occasionally after I got out of the Army, I would meet people when I was younger. And we'd be talking, and the subject of the Army or something came up, and I would say to an older couple, let's say, yeah, I was in the Army. And they would look like great joy come over their face. You must know my son. He was in the Army too. Oh, yeah, yeah, I remember your son. He was the one who wore the green shirts, wasn't he? Bill Cook, good morning to you, Bill. Looking for the questions here and still indulging myself in reading the chats because I'm still only 10 minutes behind. This is great. We got nice attendance this morning. At least it isn't below average. It's been running in the mid 80s, low 90s. Harry Beth, good morning, Mitch. Going to the fitness center soon. Not easy to walk outdoors now. Too much snow. Wow. Happy to say it's not snowing here. That's great. Have a good time. You don't call it. John had a 46-foot Coronado slope in the marinas. Wow. That's nice. When I went through the big boat phase and I had a 53-foot Hatteras, and I kept it in over here on the East Coast at Daytona Beach. And they say, as you know, that the two happiest days of a boat owner's life are the day he buys it and the day he sells it. And I'm here to tell you, with the amount of money those things cost, that is a sad, sad truth. Let me see if I got. Indulge me a second. Indulge me. Remember, I talked about my model airplanes. This was and I told you that I had won 5th place at this Top Gun tournament in the year 2000, and that's the airplane that I built and flew, and I have videos of me flying that in that particular contest. And that is a scale model. It's 7 feet long. There are people who just swear that's a full scale airplane in this picture because it's accurate in detail up to every rivet. Weighed over 40 pounds with fuel. It had a real turbine jet engine in it. It flew close to 220, 30 miles an hour, real speed, not scale speed, and an amazing airplane. And right now, I think this airplane is sitting in some guy's aviation museum over in England, because you can only compete with the same airplane 3 years in a row at this tournament because it's international. And I had just completed the 3rd year competing with it, and this very famous and fairly wealthy enthusiast from England who runs his museum offered me an obscene amount of money for this thing. I couldn't turn it down. So away to England, I got it crated up, and away to England that it went. But I enjoy looking at those old pictures every once in a while, because walk down memory lane. I can't afford any of that shit anymore, but at least I got pictures. At least I got pictures, got receipts to show that I really did it. I'm just trying to find something again here. Hang on a second. I wanted to see if I could find a quick picture of my boat somewhere here. Got so many pictures. So many pictures. Well, this is great. This is great. That's me. That's me right there. Driving my boat. And you can see from up on the flybridge, you can see from the size of me right there. Let's see if you can recognize me. Yeah. Got a cigar in my mouth, I think. Got my baseball cap on, my tropical shirt. And that's me driving my boat. So there you go. I'm so happy I don't have to take care of that stupid boat anymore. There it is. There it is. I'll do a little show and tell here today. There's the boat. It's, I cut off the back end of it. Hang on. Let me make it small again and move it over. There you go. That's, oops, wrong window. Wrong window. Never mind. Anyway, that was my big boat. Again, happy not to have to take care of that thing anymore. Spanky says, tough job. Tough job playing on the internet all night and watching two offenders. Yeah, it's a tough job, Spanky, but somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to do it. Did you play on the internet with the two offenders? I mean, were you playing like games, or you had just watching them behind bars? Lori Weitzel says, Mitch's third wife, the boat. Oh, you know it. You know it. Those boats that size cost you a fortune. After I finally went broke in the computer business, I look back at the amount of money that I had spent on airplanes and boats. And it was almost obscene. Do I regret it? No. And I don't regret it because it would not have made any difference in my future. I was in the computer business, and it was a fairly large, small business. Millions and millions and millions of dollars. The amount of debt I had to carry in the computer business dwarfed any amount of money I spent on expensive toys like boats and airplanes. My accounts receivable were usually in the millions of dollars, and the payables coincided. And when the computer company was stolen away from me by my partner, the Hewlett-Packard Corporation, it left me millions of dollars in debt. Even after, I sold all the toys. And this is what happens to you when you're responsible personally for the debt of a corporation, and the corporation, who deals in huge amounts of money compared to what an individual's finances are like, and you go broke, you're responsible. And they started all suing me. And I sold all the toys and everything I could sell, tried to pay down as much of the debt as I could, but I still couldn't. Of course, you have no income when your business is forced out of business. And I had to file a bankruptcy anyway. So had I not bought the boat and not bought the airplane and just saved all that money, it wouldn't have made any difference. That amount would have been dwarfed by the debt of the corporation. And this is what happens. Is if you have these big companies, you have to leverage yourself. You have to leverage yourself because, and I explained this before on some stream, when you buy product, and we bought millions and millions of dollars worth of product to sell. We did school systems, whole school districts at a time. Your vendors give you maybe net 30 terms, but your customers are government agencies that sometimes don't pay for 6 months or more. And you have to float that money in between. So you need to have large, huge lines of credit, and you have to sign on the dotted line as the president of or the chief stockholder of the corporation as being personally responsible. And that's the trap that I got caught up in. So I look back at the extravagance of having those $1 million toys, and would have made a bit of difference. I would have still had to go bankrupt. I would have lost them anyway. At least this way, I sold them and paid down some of that debt before I went out. But there was no way to survive that. And that happens to so many people in business when a disaster happens. Either an economic collapse, Jimmy Carter with his 20% interest rates. It's always something. The world is not very stable these days. It changes every 5 minutes. I would not want to start a big business today. Not in this climate. Not in this climate. Let me see. Oh, we have somebody from Seoul, Korea. Wow. Wow. LOHBUT, Lobot. Welcome. Welcome. South Korea, make America healthy again. 59-year-old carnivore for 1 year. Hey, welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you. Always good to see somebody I don't recognize. Oh, it looks like I'm still able to read. Truth is free. Yeah, I said, I remember those days. And yes, the houses were 75K. Young people today don't know how times have changed. Well, because of inflation, the incomes go up pretty much commensurate with expenses. I remember, and so many of us do, remember the 50s and the 60s. I remember nickel Coke machines. I remember, in my dad's drugstore, the penny candy counter, how much candy you could buy for 5 cents. It was crazy. He had a Coke machine in his drugstore. It was a nickel. I remember when it went to a dime and everybody screamed. I remember when the payphones were a dime and everybody was screaming how expensive they were. But if you said to somebody, I make $200 a week, you were almost upper middle class back in those days. You could afford that. A new car costs $1,500 for a new Pontiac or Chevy. In 1960, my first car, which was a British MGB, brand new, was $2,300. So yeah, if you were making a couple $1,000 a month, you were really, really in an upper income bracket. So it all changes, and it keeps changing, and that's why people on fixed and retired incomes, like me, have to keep working until you're 100 years old, because the Social Security is not going to cover it. It never did, I don't think. We got a 2.6, I think it's 2.6 or 2.7% cost of living increase this year. I think I got an extra $35 over last year. So my Social Security revenue went up $35 roughly. The lot rent in my community went up $40. My homeowner's insurance went up about almost $1,000 since last year. My car insurance has doubled in the past 3 years. But I got an extra $35 this month to spend next year to spend. Yippee. 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 So if you guys buying me coffees, it does help. It does help. Fortunately, I have to work, and I still do have a job that I work at, and that's doing computer work. So YouTube, at least, if nothing else, I hope, covers the expenses of being on YouTube. And it does just about that. If people buy me coffee, so use my Amazon links. But as far as earning anything from Google itself, no way to make a living. I don't suggest anybody become a full-time YouTuber unless you have a passion for it and you love it, because the pay is nowhere near commensurate with the work, especially when you're producing and editing videos. You better love it. And that's the main reason I do it, because I do love it. And you guys keep bringing me back. The only friends I have these days, real friends, are some of you in this community. Strange how it works out. Most of my friends I've never met. Some of them I met. That's probably true for a lot of you guys. I can see just from looking at the chats that some of you have become very close friends, and wouldn't recognize each other if you bumped into them out in public. Yeah, John, it's true. Clearwater used to be a classic, modest, middle-class beach. It was, well, like anything else in 40, 50 years, especially in Florida, nothing resembles what it used to. And it's happening to us now, just starting. Melbourne used to be, 10 years ago, when I moved here, wasn't nearly as congested as it is today. And they just keep building. And we're now in the process where we're going over to the west side of I-95, like happened down south of us, where way back when I first moved to Florida, went down to Miami, you got the 95 or the turnpike, and it was swampland on the other side. Now you can go almost all the way to Naples, across the whole state, and still find monster developments and everything else. And that's happening in Pasco County up on the West Coast. The development moving towards the east is Solid City now. 20 miles inland, 30 miles inland from the Gulf. And that's why we're having so many natural resource problems supplying water, traffic problems, constantly building, roads now, widening them to 5 lanes in each direction. Immense traffic jams, especially in the central Florida near Disney on I-4, which never did handle the traffic. And every time they expand it, it's obsolete before they get the work done. So it's constantly under construction, which means it's constantly being slowed down. And that, unfortunately, is between my daughter's house and my house. So if I drive over or I have to drive to Tampa, like when I go over to a meetup or something over there, or to see my daughter, I generally try to leave at 4 or 5 in the morning. And especially if it's a weekday, so that I'm there by 6:30, 7 o'clock. I got past the traffic before the rush hour, or else you're stuck for the rest of the day. There have been times where I've had 2-hour traffic jams, dead stop on Interstate 4. So it's crazy. It's crazy. And more people keep coming and coming and coming. And there's the thing, if you ever heard of the Villages, which is world famous now as the world's highest rate of advancement of sexually transmitted diseases, bunch of crazy old people with golf carts. They're getting screwed right now because the cost of their housing, between the taxes and the insurance, and they're mostly on fixed incomes. Most of them are being priced out of their homes, and the homes are going up for sale on a wholesale basis in the Villages, and that whole thing is about to come down upon its ears. Golf carts and all. I think there's 130,000 people living in the Villages now. When I had my computer business in Orlando, and the Villages was just getting started, there was nothing up there. And I actually put a computer store up there and had it for a few years. But it wasn't profitable. There wasn't enough people to support it. Honest to God. Now, it's crazy. But these poor people, between these nasty homeowners associations and the homeowners association dues that gets raised every year, I don't know if I'd want to live there. I'm going to stick my little double wide here in Melbourne. The comments now that I'm reading were about when I showed the picture. Lori Wives was Mitch's third wife, the boat. I don't know who costs more, the second wife or the boat, but it was a yeah. John, you got that right. John says boat. BOAT, bring on another 1,000. That's exactly what boat means. Bring on another 1,000. Loretta says we have an O'Day sailboat. I wish we didn't yet. Any boat's expensive. There's another saying about boats of any kind. A boat is a hole in the water that you throw money in. And that's true as well. That's true. It's my boat money went to child support. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Terry P is here. Good morning to you. Good morning. And sun is coming up. I see sunlight coming through the window. I'm in a good mood. I'm really in a good mood today. It's Friday. Not that makes any difference. I did something. I had a milestone. I didn't take a camera with me, but I went to have lunch with my son on Wednesday. I talked about this last night, but most of you weren't in that members live stream last night. And anyway, I went and had lunch at Sonny's Barbecue with my son. We had brisket and smoked chicken wings, which are great. And yes, there was probably a little bit of sugar, but not enough to trigger any addictions or anything like that. But you know, I'm not that much of a carnivore Nazi anyway. So we really enjoyed it, and I was feeling pretty good, walking pretty good. And on the way home, I decided I needed to get some pork rinds, but I have not been in a grocery store since I had my stroke. But threatening to go to Sam's, use the shopping cart kind of as a walker. But we have an Aldi's. Now, I haven't been shopping at Aldi's very much lately because what I'm eating now, I'm not crazy about what Aldi's has. And all the stuff that they have that I used to like is not carnivore. It's all other stuff. So I've been kind of settled on Sam's Club and Costco, but mostly Sam's Club because of the meats and a little broader selection of meat, although Costco's got much larger selection of meats locally here than Sam's Club does. But Sam's Club is close, and they have the exclusive hour for the Plus members, which means you could get in at 8 o'clock, where Costco used to have to wait till 10, but I hear they're changing that now too for their executive members. We'll see. Where you can go in, because the place is such a zoo here, Costco. I mean, it's crazy just trying to get out of there, just trying to find a parking place even. It's nuts. There's so many people shopping, and that's how the growth in this area has happened. And where do they put the Costco? Right smack in the middle of the fastest growing area. Smart move. And it's a very affluent area. I mean, the median price of a house in a place called Viera, Florida, which is just north of Melbourne and west of I-95. Well, actually, it goes all the way to the ocean, to the intercoastal. The median price of the houses is $700,000-800,000 million. And when you go to the Costco there, you got a parking lot full of Range Rovers and all of the image cars, you know, very important. Lincoln Continentals, Escalades. It's just money, 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 money. All retired people, all retired. And those people that just have nothing to do all day but play golf and go shop at Costco. So the place is jam-packed, jam-packed. I heard Costco announced recently that they're going to institute in 2026 this new policy of early shopping hours for executive members and seniors. How about that? So I'll check that out. And if I can get into Costco at 8 o'clock in the morning, there's a lot of things up there I like better than Sam's Club, and in some cases vice versa. But I'll check that out too and let you know. But I hadn't been to a store since my stroke. So instead of going right back home, driving back from Sonny's, I drove over to Aldi's, parked in the parking lot. I did not take my cane or any kind of walking assistance, but I walked from the car to the front door of the Aldi's, picked up a shopping cart, and went shopping. And that shopping cart did indeed give me ample support. And I went and bought my pork rinds and went through the checkout and walked back to the car and went home. Now, Aldi's, of course, you have to have 25 cents to rent, basically, a deposit on a shopping cart. If you've been to Aldi's, you know what I mean. You get your quarter back when you return the cart. But so I'm going up to I'm walking up to where the line of carts is in front of the front door, and some guy who was walking his shopping cart back from his car just pushed the thing in there from about 6 feet away, and the shopping cart went and hit the other shopping carts, and it went in about halfway and stopped, and he turned around and walked away. I don't think he realized or didn't care enough about the quarter to worry about plugging that chain thing in to release his quarter. So I just happened to walk right up, and there was a shopping cart with a quarter already in it and not connected or locked. So I just took that one. Didn't even feel guilty about it. When I went to Aldi's, usually back in the day, and put the quarter deposit in the shopping cart and ended up wheeling the shopping cart back to my car in the parking lot, unloading it, and then having to turn around with the shopping cart, walk all the way back to the store to get my quarter back. Not only me, but so many people just didn't think it was worth the friggin' quarter. So somebody in the parking lot that was just got there and pulled up and was headed towards the store, we usually said to them, "Here, take this." And of course, they would want to give you a quarter, and you just, no, just take it. So that happened almost every time that I went to Aldi's. I ended up just giving somebody the shopping cart with my quarter in it, and fighting them that, no, I don't want your quarter. Just take it on me. Do a little good deed. So I got paid back yesterday or the other day, Wednesday, with a free shopping cart. And it was great. And it was no big deal. So I guess my next little adventure is going to be Sam's Club, 8 o'clock one morning, maybe next week on Tuesday or Thursday when I don't have a morning live stream. And I will take the camera. Of course, the amount of walking is going to be enormous compared to what it is in Aldi's. Sam's Club is a lot bigger. But I think I want to do that. And I really hadn't planned on making any videos until after the first of the year, other than the live streams. But I think that might be fun. That might be fun to go shopping. Also, my son yesterday bought me a whole loin of the New York strips that's on sale at Publix now. So a little announcement, public service announcement for you. $7.99 a pound for New York strip steak in the form of a roast, but you slice it up. My son went and picked up a bunch of them, of the whole loins themselves, and he got one for me. It was 14 pounds. So it was a little over $100, but I'll probably get about, if I cut the steaks about 1.25 inches thick, I'll probably get 11 or 12 steaks out of it. So next week in Publix, the bone-in prime rib goes on sale. I think it's going to be $9.99 a pound, and we're going to stock up on that too. I haven't been eating a lot of steaks lately because of the cost, so maybe I'll start eating less hamburger, because I've been getting almost all my beef from those burger patties, and start enjoying some steaks again. But paying $20 a pound for these things and being unable to go and shop and pick out the good ones, I don't want to risk having some clerk just pick me out a full price. Well, at least I could go into Sam's Club first thing in the morning and find the markdowns, and that made it more affordable. But I just can't bring myself. I can afford it. I could do it. Not to the extent that, say, Sean Baker eats these, pounds of pristine ribeyes every day. But I'm just as happy eating a hamburger. So we'll see how much I get. Meanwhile, I got some New York strip, but I'd rather have ribeyes. Got more fat in it. Oh, John went broke too. Well, misery loves company. Oh, that's when I went broke again in 2000. It was in I started a restaurant business in Orlando, and then 2008 came along, and bango, we all went broke then. So, story of my life. I built something up. That's like sandcastles. I view my life as sandcastles. It's like building those big model airplanes and then crashing one and totally destroying it. There's so much work can be destroyed in an instant. Well, that's the way it is in business these days. It's like building a sandcastle. You work, you work, you work, you work, or building a big YouTube channel and then saying one word wrong and having YouTube delete your channel completely because you violated community guidelines. It takes a hell of a lot longer to build something than it does for some random event to destroy it. But that's life. And it's been the story of my life. And I just keep standing back up, dusting myself off, and going on to the next adventure and trying to enjoy what I can while I'm able, which I think is why I spend so much money on these expensive toys. Who knows? But it is what it was. It is what it was. And of course, Spanky, the comedian, comes in and says, I remember $15 hookers. Oh man, I know I'm older than you, Spanky, but I don't even remember $15 hookers. Yeah, and here's the other comedians. I told you these guys would make a great comedy team. DS and Spanky, or Spanky and DS. He says, where? Where did you find a $15 hooker? Sorry, ladies. Boys will be boys. Yeah, Jimmy Vaughn, good morning to you. Is Trump going to give us the $2,000? Nah, I don't think the Democrats are going to let him. And Democrats want to make sure all that money goes to people who aren't citizens of this country. They can't stand to see anybody who actually is a contributing member of society and pays taxes actually benefiting from any of that money they paid. All that money is supposed to go to people who've never earned it, don't deserve it, but think they're entitled to it. And that, unfortunately, there's too many judges out there and too many lawyers to file lawsuits whenever Trump tries to do anything. Somebody sues him and it has to go all the way to the Supreme Court before they make a decision. So no. I'd be pleasantly surprised if we got them, but I doubt it. I was initially convinced they were going to do it. The news reports sounded like it was a done deal, but no, it wasn't. And there's my little soiree into politics as far as I'm willing to go today. I must talk about the boats and things. It's great. Good discussion today and nice attendance. We got 95 people. Wow. That's encouraging. Fridays are traditionally a little slower. So it's good to see people are coming back to this morning coffee of mine. It encourages me to see the trend go up a little bit each day rather than down. Thomas, better late than never, my friend. Sorry I'm late, he said. And my BB&E is here. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning. Ribeye bone-in roast 79 at Aldi's. That's what I heard. But I didn't look when I was at Aldi's. I didn't go look at the meat. I've never had much luck buying steak at Aldi's. Never had much luck. Most of the time, it was always the stuff that was vacuum sealed already. And they don't have butchers. They don't have butchers at the Aldi's. Like Sam's Club has butchers. And like Publix has butchers. So they actually cut up the prime cuts into steaks, put them in a styrofoam tray, and wrap them. And you know it's fresh meat that way. I've never had any luck buying any steak that came from somewhere other than the store butcher itself. Always been horrible. And the worst ones are the ones that said grass finished. Oh, God. Tough and horrible tasting and expensive. I wish I had a cattle ranch next door, but I don't. But I don't. So I don't see too many questions. And it is after 8 o'clock. But let me go over here and do my QQQ thing. As the Alpha Gal thing, got that. My Fat Boss thing, got that. That's it. I got all the QQQs, so we're just going with the flow this morning. Loretta says big box stores are overwhelming for my brain. I like the small grocery stores. Yeah, unfortunately, if you got to buy meat, the small grocery stores are generally not going to have a big selection. And it's always better to have the biggest selection you can find to find the best cuts. And I'm not the only one who used to give my card away. Sandy says she did too. I think a lot of people do. And I've had a lot of people offer them to me, and I was on the other end of the bargain. Here, take this quarter. No, I don't want it. No, please take the quarter. You know, you end up in a fist fight to see who's the most generous of the two. My phone's going ding. Let's see what's going on here this morning. Nothing but advertisements. I'm not surprised. And how we doing? 8:01. I'm 5 minutes behind in the chat. Lori says, Mitch, you are definitely the king of adventure. My whole life has been an adventure. It still is, I guess. Some of the adventures are not so great. It's like having a bucket list. I did not have stroke on my bucket list, honest to God. But these things happen. I didn't have brain surgery on my bucket list either. In fact, that bucket list hasn't been doing too well for me lately. That's true. That's true. Rick says Mitch remembers when Motel 6 was $6. I do. I think I do. I never stayed in one, but I think that's where the name comes from anyway. It used to be a room for $6. This is true. Jojo. Hi, Jojo says, I was at all day, sat in my car watching a man offering to bring people's cards back. He was collecting the quarters. He was on a roll. That reminds me, yeah. If you remember the movie The Terminal? Do you remember the movie The Terminal? And the guy who got stuck was a foreigner whose visa got screwed up, and they ended up exiling him to the terminal, and he ended up spending better part of a year in there, and he had to make money to buy food. So he started going around doing just that, picking up people's luggage carts that you rented and took them back until they got wise to him, because it stopped them. But Tom Hanks played a great role for him too. It was a great movie. If you haven't seen The Terminal with Tom Hanks, you got to watch it. It was a heartwarming, great movie. The set, they actually built that entire set to mimic this airline terminal. And they had all the vendors in there, and they were the real vendors. So they had a Burger King on the set. That was a real Burger King. And specialty store. It was great. Great movie. Great movie. I've seen it like 5 times. I still enjoy it. Every couple of years I'll watch it again because it's such a heartwarming movie. Got to get to the end of this here somewhere. All right, let me do this. Let me play a little happy music for you guys. And you can start to say goodbye to your friends. And we'll start to think about winding this down. I will see you all tomorrow evening, Saturday night, live at 7 o'clock. It's for everybody, not just members. Everybody, going to have a panel. Everybody's welcome. And I want to see some big attendance. These panels are a lot of fun. A lot of fun. We let our hair down, talk about anything that comes up, and maybe some ladies. We didn't get many ladies on our panels in the members community last week, but maybe we'll get some ladies in there. So let me go ahead and move this down to the bottom, and you can read all the goodbyes. And I'll try to make my way through the other chat, see if I missed anything. Oh, we're saying goodbyes. We're saying the goodbyes, and I use all their hefty Ziploc freezer bags. Bye, says Loretta. Bye, all, says Lady June. Peace out, family. Catch you in the streams. Says Bride's Biscuit by BBB, and he says bye, Boston Danny. Happy day. Anthony and Peter says goodbye, and Anthony said music. Yes, music. Peter, bye all. And that will I do it. Rick, say goodbye. Lambs, see you next time. See you next time. And Super Tune, see you all soon. Mitch Fitz, Super Tune, Chuck, right? Chuck, I think, like the steak. So, my friends, if I don't see you tomorrow night, have a great weekend. I'll see you back Monday morning on Morning Coffee with Mitch. Again, we'll drink it because we got it. That'll do it. So, nothing else to say but take the rest of the day off and eat meat.